Right, so here we are back at Leslie's workshop on quite a windy day, but it's all good news because here we have the engine for my Z650 F2, and it looks like it's got the crank in, new primary, gearbox in, new cam chain.
Yes.
And obviously it's been sprayed and, sorry, not sprayed, it's had a very high-tech ceramic coating from Camcoat.
Yeah.
It was black, but now it's silver. So that's the top end, which you put the bits in first, and down here on the floor they pick it up. It's the bottom end, it's silver now, you see. And it's down here because, having been blasted beforehand, the oil ways are full of grit and crap and God knows what else, so you've got to spend many hours cleaning it out, blowing it out, whatever.
Yeah.
And part of that is because I did it, because I borrowed a blaster and got sick of doing it in the end.
Never sandblast engine.
No, well. So also on the floor next to me here is a cylinder head, and it's a cylinder head I bought because the original one was knackered. Well, not knackered.
I wouldn't say knackered, but
it was well worn.
The cam journals had picked up, had a bit of swap in it.
And the good is, I bought that off eBay, and it came complete with cams. But again, it's black, so actually I won't pick it up because I can't do it with both hands.
I can pick it up while you talk.
Okay, I'll keep on talking. And so this is the last piece of the engine that's going to go to Camcoat to be made to look like that, with a silver ceramic coating.
We'll put it on the bench.
I'd be taking tomorrow morning. Yeah, so it's all go. So I've got to get this thing done now, and when I bring it back in about a week or two, get it rebuilt, and then actually no, I think you can put the engine in the frame without.
I can put the engine in the frame, and while the cylinder head's away being done, once that's been ceramic coated,
yes,
you can bring it back, and I can finish off rebuilding the head and refitting it to the engine. But that'll already be in the bike by then.
Well, that said, the bike itself is still in my garage, but I have pushed a bike from my garage to here once before, my Mark II, which is right down here, which now has most of its end, well, not all of it, but it's got the bottom end in. So I should be able to push the 650 here in the next few weeks without engines. The good news is it's got a drum rear brake, so at least I can use the back brake when I'm going downhill. There's a couple of big hills in the way, so at least I can not do a Fred Flintstone and try and put my feet on the bloody floor to try and slow down.
Vans off the road,
yeah. Well, it's not too far. It's good exercise for me. Yeah, so all that's going right now. So have you had any issues with this? I know we've had a new primary, a new cam chain, and you just told me now you've taken the conrods off the crank. Yeah,
just to check the big ends and look at the clearances, and all the clearances are fine, and the condition of the big end shells are nice, so they didn't need replacing. All the main shells are really good, in good condition as well.
Excellent. And you've also got new seals on both ends.
Yeah, 2 crank seals either end. They're brand new. New cam chain.
Bearings for the.
We've got some gearbox components to fit in the other crankcase.
Right. Yeah, it's down there.
Some selector fork and a few other bits and bobs on the gearbox side. To fit.
I've also just brought over the engine cases that are polished. Bar one, the points cover has a hole drilled in it. It had to be done to repair. We use that as a guide to repair the broken crankcases.
Thread,
And I thought, no problem, I'll just go and buy a second-hand points cover from eBay. I've been looking for months. Can I find one? No. It's either absolutely knackered, or the prices are like £150 or something like that. I'm not paying that.
So the millions that were made,
yes,
there's not available.
So I think what we might do is we might repair the one we've got, just get the whole welded up or something, and we'll get it sorted out.
For a rubber bung in it.
Yeah. Well, no, we won't do that. So that's what's going on with the F2. Right, so here we are back in Jeff's. Start again. Right, here we are back in Leslie's garage, and as you can see, we're still a long way from being finished, but the engine is now back together again, or rather the cases are.
Bottom half's together.
Yeah.
And I've ordered all the parts for the jack shaft and all the ancillaries, all gaskets and O-rings, and
so they're on the way.
They're on the way, so I can't do anything until they arrive.
Right.
And then obviously we need to order parts then for the top end.
Yeah, the top end is still away at Camcoat being refinished, silver.
Yes.
Now I believe you had a problem with one of the threaded holes in the crankcases, because they were full of crap from what I did to it.
Crud and shot blasting grit, and I always blow them out and then run a tap down, blow them out.
So you were doing that, but then something happened.
Yeah, I got to like within 2 of finishing the threads and snapped a tap.
inside the cases.
Yeah,
oh, no,
and it was slightly down in a recess, so I had to go to see my brother Jeff.
Yeah.
And he had no milling cutters, carbide milling cutters. They're the only thing that'll get a tap out. High speed steel tap. So I went to local engineering supplies, and they had some burrs, what's known as burrs, cutting burrs.
Yeah.
Carbide. They're only £2 each, so I bought 5.
Yeah.
And they were double-ended. They had a cutting edge on each end. Luckily, Jeff used all 10
all right,
faces.
all 10 to get the damn...
And he managed to get 99% of the tap out. There's probably a tiny couple of millimetres of it left at the bottom of the hole.
That's the hole there, yeah.
But then we blew it out, helicoiled it.
And it's happy.
And it's happy, yeah. It's all repaired.
Right, great
So
stuff.
that put us back, putting the engine together early last week.
Right.
And I picked up the crankcases Tuesday and put the cases together Wednesday. So
that's on Monday.
yeah, I've got to put the jack shaft in, which is missing here.
Yes.
At the starter clutch is internal, so while you're there, you put a new starter clutch in.
Just in case it goes wrong, yeah.
Yeah, you starter clutch repair kit's on one of the parts on order.
Right.
New bearings for the jack shaft. And anything else I could think of, really.
Right, so it's all ready to go.
Yeah.
My part of all this is I've just taken the points cover, which has a hole in it, to Jeff the Welders to fill it up with weld. Once it's done that, then we'll see if we can make it look a bit better, because it's going to have a little spot of weld right in the middle of the points cover, which isn't ideal, but get my Dremel out and see if we can...
It will tidy it up enough so until we find
part of it. It's part of its history. It's part of its history. It's what I see.
Yeah.
Right. So progress is quite good. Your workshop's still full of motorbikes. So
people aren't collecting them.
I know, pain.
I'm finishing the work, phoning people up with bills, and they don't get back in touch with me.
Yeah.
That's another story.
That's another story. Right. So that's progress to date, and we'll come back in a week or two, maybe about a week, and hopefully this engine is getting to be complete, and then we can get it in the bike. The bike's still at my house, my garage, so I've got to push it.
You might not.
Oh, that's good news.
I have a friend with a van.
Okay.
And I've asked him for a favour.
A man with a van, that's always useful to have.
Man with a van.
Right.
He wants to bring a motocross motocross bike of his.
All right,
A
here.
Joro bike for me to do a piston and piston rings. And when he brings the bike,
Oh, pop over to me.
we can pop over to you and bring your 650 here.
Right.
Oh, this 650,
Yeah,
sorry.
the green 650, yeah.
And that'll save you pushing it.
Yes, it would. Which would be a great relief.
Yeah.
It's not exactly an easy push. Right, so that's great. So now it's time for tea, and we'll carry on in a few days' time and see hopefully this engine being completed.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Right, here we are back at Les's workshop. Get that right, it's not Jeff's workshop, it's Les's workshop. And as you can see, we've got progress on the engine. So what's going on so far? I can see we've got the clutch in place.
Yeah, I've assembled the lower end, oil pump stripped and rebuilt, sump on, oil filter on.
Yeah.
Then I flipped it upright and started to rebuild the clutch, tighten the clutch centre nut, jack shaft on this side, torqued up that nut so that cap can go on there now.
Yeah.
Then I can start rebuilding all the gear selectors.
What you're saying?
Rotor on.
Yeah, we had a problem with this.
Just clean the clutch push. You can see here there's grooves in it where the seals have worn it away. I've cleaned it up. But I've put it in and spun it, and as I've spun it, it's bent.
Slightly bent, yeah.
Slightly bent,
You
so...
can't use it.
No.
We'll have to get a new one if it's available or
You
perhaps...
don't want any clutch actuation problems, so
we'll
just change
get
it.
a second-hand one for
It's pretty corroded here where it's been outside the front of the engine sprocket.
Yeah, you can see there. It's a bit back there.
You can see where it's... but
There's two lines there. Yeah, there's 2 lines. I'll take a photo.
Well, I've got a new seal for the outer case,
Yes.
but obviously it's not going to seal there where the grooves are.
No.
Plus it's bent, so replace it.
Yeah, and I just brought you the welded up points cover. It doesn't look fantastic, but it's better than it was. So it did have a hole there, and that's welded up. And I've done my best to sort of bring back the Kawasaki, but I've got the A's pretty much obliterated.
It'll do until we find a better one.
It'll do until we can find
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's it. What else is going at the moment? We've not got the head back yet from Camco, but that should be here. Hopefully, well, it's not the end of the week, so it'll be next week now, I guess.
Well, the next job now is to get the bike here, so we can put the lower end into the bike.
Yes, and that's
and I can carry on working on the block.
Yes.
Checking all the ring end gaps and the piston to bore clearances.
Yes.
If that all checks out, I can put the block on when the engine's in the frame.
Yes.
And then obviously it's just a matter of putting the head on and finishing the bike.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, so just turn the camera on.
Okay.
So what we're going to do today, or what you're going to do right now, is try and put the barrel and the pistons on the engine.
Yes.
I've just been talking about it, and it is quite fiddly.
Yeah, if you haven't got the special clamping tool, the Kawasaki tool.
Yeah, but you've now got the pistons starting to go in the barrel, so you're going to drop the barrel over the studs and then connect up the two
Centre pistons, yeah.
Pistons. Put the
and then because the pistons are all in the bores.
Yeah.
And then obviously I can once I've got the centre two piston circlets in, I can then bring the two outer con rods up.
Turn the engine over slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. Push the outer two pistons down out the liners. Put the gudgeon pins in and put the circlips in those two, and then push the barrel down, and that's how you. It
sounds easy if you say it, but it's not.
It sounds easy, but it's fiddly and it can be difficult.
Because this thing wants to move and so on.
This cam chain tensioner has got to stay in position without these rubber blocks moving.
Yeah.
Once you've got the barrel on, positioned, you've got to then feed the cam chain up.
Yes. And hold it
before you obviously drop it.
Yes.
You don't want to trap the cam chain.
Nope.
First mistake I made was putting the base gasket on before and realised it's sided.
Yes, you said
It's just the slot for the cam chain tunnel is offsetting the gasket by about 3 or 4 mil. And of course, the first time I put it on, 50-50 chance of getting it wrong, and I did get it wrong.
Well, at least you noticed first.
So I had to take it off and flip it.
Yeah.
But it's all ready to go.
Right.
If you look round here, I've just pushed the pistons out of the block just enough for the gudgeon pins.
Yeah.
The oil rings I think are just coming into the taper, but like I say, the gudgeon pins have got to stay out enough like that.
Yes.
In fact, I can remove those. That one is number 2. That one is number 3. So leave it like that. So we can leave it like that for now.
All right.
So the next job is to flip it.
Right, let's
slide that in.
Right, do you want me to hold it?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Right, okay.
We've got to lower it onto the studs.
Right. Right, one minor one.
Right, okay. Then we have to move the piston, conrod, sorry, lift the barrel slightly.
Yep.
Slide the conrod so it's inside the piston.
Yeah, it is.
Right, okay. And the next job then is to locate the conrods.
Yeah.
If you can get that gudgeon pin into that piston. Right, let me get this one in.
Yeah, I can't see what I'm doing with glasses on, mate.
Let me get this one in first, and then it'll hold the barrel.
Yeah.
Right, hang on a second. Well, don't lift the barrel anymore. Okay. That's it, I'm in here now.
Okay, you're in.
I'm in there.
You're in, good.
Right, let me come round your side.
Right, I've got the gudgeon pin here.
And then a sight across.
Right.
And the weight of the barrel won't drop because the rings are tight in the bore.
No.
So if I can just get that gudgeon pin in there, line the rod up, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. There we go.
There you go, it's in. Right, good. Phew.
Right, that's in.
Right.
So now we put a cloth
over here
while we put the circlips in.
Yeah, you don't want one falling down in there. No.
And then we've got to bring the cam chain through.
Yes.
And then we can turn the engine over and do the outer two.
Right. Sounds easy.
Sounds easy in theory. Yeah. Can you hear me clicking it?
Yeah.
I'm pushing the circlip
around
with the screwdriver.
Yeah.
It's slipping over it. It's just to make sure it's in.
Yeah. You don't use circuit pliers then, just use a little screwdriver?
No, there's no eyelets in them.
Right, okay.
So you've just got to use your fingers, which is why I've not got my gloves on, because you haven't got the dexterity with the gloves. You know, and the circlet can get jammed in the glove.
Yeah, and then it'll fling you off somewhere, you'll never find it again.
Oh God, yeah, it's...
So is that in now?
Just checking. That looks in.
Right, 1 done, 3 to go. So I'm going to turn the engine over to bring the conrods up.
Yes.
The 1 and 4.
Without it pulling the pistons out the centre too.
Yeah.
The barrel's got to drop and the engine turn over without the pistons moving in that liner.
Okay.
So I've just got to tap these out now. To expose the gudgeon pin hole, yeah?
Yeah. So you're just putting that in just to start it off.
Yeah, so that's...
So now the conrods have to come up.
Yeah, conrods have to come up now.
So do you reckon this is a better way than doing it the other way, where you put the pistons on first and then drop the...
Well, it's swings and roundabouts, really. I think that's lined up. I think that's lined up. That's got it. Right, okay. I'll come round your side.
Right, so just to stop here, we have got a problem because I touched the rubber block that sits down there that's now fallen into the sump.
Yeah, that could...
But,
it might be on top of the primary chain, or it'll get chewed up and spat out. You know,
but you have got the old one, which we can fit in a minute, and then we can take the sump off, or you can take the sump off, and hopefully it'll drop out and no harm done. But it's my fault.
It's a lot of work to get the sump off, but
I know.
well, it's not. But
yeah, but you don't want to leave a bit.
Right, let's get round your side.
Okay, and we'll do the last one, and then the barrel can drop down.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to hopefully drop the barrel down without incident.
Hopefully. Well, we have had an incident.
Yes, it's my fault, but...
No, you weren't to know.
No.
You just put your hand just at the wrong place.
The wrong time.
It's probably my fault for not warning you.
Yeah.
And I'd not thought about it, to be honest, because I was too concerned thinking about it. Then 2 rubber blocks are in.
Right, so you're just going to scoop out the new rubber block that's now in the sump somewhere.
Correct.
Okay, so now we're going to drop down. Oh, that one went there.
We're going down there now. So we're in.
Right, okay, keep going. Keep going. There we go. Whee!
Not quite down.
Nearly down. So you're saying you've got some spacers which you can put on the on the studs, so that you can then bolt down the block, just to make sure it's all okay. You can turn the engine over and it'll not affect the block. Yeah.
Oh, look what I've found.
What have you found?
Well, I found the rubber block.
Where is it? Is it somewhere you can get that, or is it?
It's on the front run. You've got the crankshaft and 2 rungs of chain coming off the cam chain, and it's just against the inside of the front run of the cam chain.
Right. So as soon as it spins around, it's going to chew it to bits, isn't it?
If I can get a screwdriver with a big bodge of grease on now.
And, well, hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You can do.
Yeah.
Do you want to try it now, or do you want to?
Yeah, we can try it now.
Okay.
And then, before with this logic,
if that's a success, we can go off and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And be happy.
Yeah, we will be happy. I'll be very happy if I get that out.
Seriously, it's just there on that wall. Oh, almost. Yay! Well done. Phew. That was a close call. Well done.
The joys of being a motorcycle mechanic, mate.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not one. I never was one. Right, time for tea.
Not quite.
Not quite. Oh, you're going to do...
I'm just going to tighten up...
you're going to put those spacers on.
Spacers on. Whiz it over a few times.
Right, okay, great.
Make sure I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Right, so those spacers take up the distance where the cylinder head would go.
Yes.
And now you can just clamp it down. And
yeah, just clamp it, and then I can turn the engine over and make sure everything's good.
Okay, yeah.
If you turn the engine over without these on, it's trying to lift the barrel.
Of course it is, yeah. Right, just turn it over for me, just so we can see that go on again. Right, there we go.
Cam chain's just temporarily held here.
Yes.
Running around the screwdriver so it doesn't snag on the crank.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I'm just making sure it's all nice and smooth, there's nothing tight.
Which there isn't. Right,
I've gapped all the rings on, I've put them all, installed them on the pistons just today.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned, but we have got new rings on these pistons.
On the original pistons.
The bolts and pistons were pretty good, but the rings were a little bit at the end of the life.
They were on the service limit.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's 0.7 of a mil ring end gap, which they were.
Yeah.
And the standard is 0.15 to 0.3, and these are all about 0.25, in between 0.25 and 0.3.
Right, so
they're within the standard. Spot on, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
The last thing you want is low compression on the rebuilt motor.
Oh god, yeah.
Well, that is lovely. Look at that. It's lovely and smooth.
That's what we want.
But if you look at number 1 piston, I did find some. I don't know whether someone's rebuilt it wrong in the past.
I've no idea.
But if you look at the valve cutouts on number 1 piston,
Here.
there are 2 marks.
Yeah.
See that?
Has a valve hit it at some point?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If someone's got the valve timing wrong, a valve could have clipped the piston.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no cracks or anything in it. It just looks like a little dint.
Yeah. Could have been like that for like 20 odd years. So.
Well,
Oh well. It's got a history, this bike. So.
all bikes have got history.
Yeah. Right. So with that, my camera's definitely now running out of battery power. So. We'll call it quits for today. Gonna have some tea, and I'll go home and work on my Kawasaki Z650.
Yeah.
But not quite as efficiently.